So on this week's video, or this time's video, we're starting a little two-part series. I'm with Mary Carol. And Mary Carol, what are people supposed to do on the channel?
Like, follow, and subscribe.
That's right. We have to do that, of course, to be official YouTube people. But Mary Carol's going to be on this video and the next one. And we're going to talk about something that she did with a lot of help at Central a few months ago. And it had to do with lads to leaders, but also was meant to encourage Central and all kinds of stuff. But it was called Central Diggers. So before we get into the specifics, Mary Carol, kind of talk about why you took on a project, and then we'll talk more about what the project actually is.
Okay, so I went for the award of a red coat at Lads to Leaders. It is the highest award you can get.
I mean, if you're familiar with something like Boy Scouts, it's kind of like an Eagle Scout kind of thing. It's not exactly the same, but it's kind of the same ballpark.
Yes. One of the requirements I had to fulfill to get a red coat was to do a project of some sort to encourage the church on coordinating it myself, but having others help me complete the project, something that could be continued in the future.
Yeah, so the idea behind this is Red Coats, as you said, it's kind of the highest award. It's almost like a lifetime achievement award. You have to work on it for a long time. You have to have been involved in Lads Leaders for a number of years, do a pretty significant amount of events throughout the years, and then I can't remember if it's for just seniors or juniors and seniors, I don't remember, but you have to be on up there in grade.
We had a junior in our group this year, but that's very, very rare.
Yeah. So to get this award, you have to continue to do all the Lads to Leaders work, things like speech and things throughout the year, like Centurion of Scripture and all that kind of stuff. And then, as you mentioned, do a project. And we talked about different ideas. Rhonda Fernandez, who works for Lads to Leaders, kind of was your mentor, but also, gave us a couple ideas here and there. We brought ideas too, all over the place. And Mom actually found kind of the concept behind this. We changed a lot of it. But we decided on the name Central Diggers, which is a weird name. So what was Central Diggers, and why did that lead us to this kind of really weird name?
Okay, Central Diggers was to help children understand how the Bible and science fit together. So we went with a more dinosaur excavator, I think that's the right word here.
Archaeology kind of thing.
Yes, archaeology typed, just kind of the exploration of things, which is where we got the Central Diggers idea.
Yeah, the idea, was excavation, archaeology, kind of digging for the truth, kind of that idea. But as you said, if you're going to talk about things like science in the Bible, of course you got to talk about dinosaurs at some point. So Turner actually helped create the logo. He's good at that kind of stuff, and he found I guess it was almost like a shadow of a dinosaur, the best way to put it, and kind of made that the background.
Like a shadow of a dinosaur skeleton and a
magnifying glass.
Yes, that was kind of faded into like this maroonish background.
Yeah.
It worked really, really well.
Yeah, so he helped with that side of things, kind of piece that together. But the diggers concept was kind of this play on words of archaeology and stuff, but also digging for the truth. And I'll go ahead and mention this video is going to be a little bit shorter. Leah is actually going to join Mary Carol the next one and talk more about kind of walking through the class, more of the specifics. So this is going to be more generic. So you may go, I didn't learn a lot. There's a method of the madness here. But let me just ask this. Why was it important to you, when we could have taught all kinds of things, or if it was approved by the board, could have taught all kinds of things? Why was it important to you to say, okay, if we're going to teach children, and this was, by the way, we went all the way through high school, so we're children and young people, but to teach them Christian evidences, science versus the Bible, that sort of stuff in this kind of setting?
Part of it was to help the kids, teens, children be able to come into a congregation or into a church building and meet with people of the church, and to be able just to see what it's kind of like being with people who are of the church. That was part of it, was to give the kids an experience. The other parts were similar, but
But
it
why do you
was
think it's important to talk about that subject matter to
that
kids?
subject in particular.
Yeah, about science and the Bible, that sort of thing.
That is something that is not talked about enough. Ever. Whether you are a little kid, a child, a teenager, or even adults. I had some people come up to me and ask me if I was going to broaden the curriculum part of it and extend it to an adult class with more opportunities for more people to come.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to, they loved how much the kids were learning, how excited they seemed to be for the classes, and were wanting to learn more about it themselves. Just saying that this isn't something that's normally taught. It's something that's kind of just, oh yeah, it's true. Okay, how? We need to know how it's true if we're going to be able to defend that.
Yeah, a lot of times, and I'm a preacher, I'm guilty of this. A lot of times we might mention something in the sermon really quickly, or there might be, okay, we're studying through Genesis, so maybe there's some mention when we study creation, but to take a few weeks and just focus on some very specific areas, we all felt was important. But this was your project, but you just loved that idea, and let's be honest here. This had to be approved by Lads to leaders, but we didn't even propose anything else. We didn't say, "Hey, we want to study, Ephesians with these kids," or we want to study, growing up in faith. This was the proposal from the start. Was something about apologetics, about science in the Bible, those sorts of things. And like you said, you really can't talk about this too much, especially in the world we live in, where it's just assumed in our culture that either the Bible is wrong, or the Bible is just outdated, or the Bible gets a lot of things wrong, gets a lot of things right, but gets this wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And to actually sit down and teach, here are some things to show that no, the Bible actually gets this right. But to do it even down to little kids, and that was really cool. I was teaching a TH class, so I only got to see kind of the I guess you'd say the preparation, for the children's classes and that sort of thing. But to see and you're going to talk about this with your mom in the next video more, but for me to see what they came up with, you all came up with, for especially the little kids, was really cool. Because it wasn't an hour-long lecture. I mean, there was crafts and activities, and it was crazy. So before you and your mom...
were the big thing.
Yeah, you want to talk about that some, too. So before we kind of start wrapping our part up and let you talk with your mom in the next one, talk about what it meant to you and how you did this, of getting help from the elders, from the congregation, that sort of thing. Because our family did some stuff, but this was not a fun family project. We all had hands in it, but this was way bigger than us.
Yes. As the name goes, Central Diggers, this was Central's thing. This was completely not just family. We had a lot of different working parts in this, and it really helped show me how many little parts and pieces you need from people and from others, just kind of as smaller help, bigger help, just help in general, finances and things. This was a big way to see how much of that it takes to run a project like this.
Yeah, talk about the elders' reception when you went to them, because they knew that you had been wanting a red coat,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to have to do a project, but you actually went and sat in with them in a meeting to kind of propose this, to kind of talk about that and their reception, how they supported this.
Okay. When I first proposed, the first place I so sorry, tongue-tied tonight. The first place I went to propose it was to the board at Lads to Leaders. When I learned, well, actually no, I didn't learn until a couple of days later that it was approved. Mm-hmm. I went to the elders before it was even approved by Lads to Leaders, proposed the project, and when they said yes, I had to say, this hasn't been approved by Lads to Leaders yet.
We're still waiting on the final word.
They still haven't gotten back with me. I said, I don't care if they don't approve it. I said, I think they will. I think there's a chance they could. If they don't, I don't care. I still want to do this. And they said, okay, let's do it. I think our meeting lasted 30, 45 minutes.
Somewhere in that range. Yeah.
Something like that. I went through all of the little pieces and the big pieces, talking of flyers and books and people and just every piece I could think of, trying to show what I had already planned and what I still needed to get done. The one part that was going to be the hardest was the financial part of it. The elders said, we'll cover it. They said, we don't care what it costs. We're going to add
within reason.
Yes, within reason of like as far as getting books and things
Right.
for the classes or anything else we had to order for the classes. They said, yes, you can do this project. We will help cover, if not cover, the entire thing.
Because one thing we wanted to make sure people knew was, and this may seem obvious, but a lot of places isn't, this was free. You know, it was kind of like going to a VBS. You don't go to VBS and pay a tuition fee or registration fee. This was just, we're doing this for whatever kids want to come, and the others were like, that's fine. And that was great. So before we finish up, talk about getting teachers and you know, because you were in charge of that too, making sure we had teachers in the several classes, because it wasn't a class, it was several classes.
Yes. So we had a 4 and 5-year-old class, a 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th, and then a 7th through 12th grade class. Those were the ages that we had. So that's 5 teachers I had to find. And within most of at least the younger classes, I wanted to make sure that there were 2 teachers in each room so that if one had to do something or for some reason could not make it, I still had an extra teacher, but also so they're little kids. They need extra help. You always need extra
little kids.
people.
This was on a weeknight during the school year, so you know we had all these things. I hate to say working against us, but kids are going to be tired. It was on Tuesday evenings, you know, and frankly, we didn't know how many we were going to have it for. We did registration, but you never know. Last minute, you know, 60 kids registered. We didn't have as many as we thought we might. It was a good number, but we wanted to for all those reasons, for the safety of it, but also because, like you said, we're dealing with kids, weeknights, you know, all kinds of stuff, and a teacher gets sick, you got to back up.
Yes.
So all that stuff played into trying to do our best to have 2 teachers.
Yes. Our 4 and 5-year-olds had 3 teachers. 1st and 2nd had a teacher and a helper.
Mm-hmm.
3rd and 4th had 1 teacher. 5th and 6th generally ended up joining the teen class. The teens were not originally supposed to have 2 teachers. They were supposed to have 1. That was you. I didn't think you'd have trouble controlling the teens by yourself.
She has too much trust in me.
Well, I also had somewhat of an idea of the teens who were coming,
Right.
at least so far as we knew so far.
Right. But then 5th and 6th usually only had like 1 student.
Yes.
So we just let the teacher and that student come with us, and it worked out just fine. So
I think the most we had in 5th and 6th was 3 kids one night.
mm-hmm.
It was generally 1. Sometimes we had 2. But yes, that group ended up joining with the teen class. So that brought us down to 4 classes, though, that I still had to fulfill to find teachers for.
Yeah. But everything worked out, and the kids loved it. I'm gonna let you and your mom talk more about kind of what you actually taught, you know, the curriculum and that sort of thing. But the feedback we got, and we had some people from Central come, we had people from other congregations come. The feedback we got was all not just positive, but all this sense of just thank you. You know, thank you for teaching this, not just thank you for having something, but thank you for teaching this, and thank you for teaching this in this way. And so we want to do these couple of videos. This one just to kind of give almost a preview of the next one. But the next one when you talk to your moms, you're more like any congregation could do this with some coordination, with some forethought, and they could do it as we did. We did it as an extra class. We said it's a Tuesday night. Our Bible classes are on Wednesday nights. We did this as kind of an extra thing. Frankly, because we had to get it finished for you to earn the retro. That was a big part of it. But this could be something a congregation does for a special Wednesday night series. Or if you have Bible classes on Sunday evening, something like that. It could be something that's even used for almost like an extended VBS. You know.
Yeah.
But this is something that can be done. And so in the next video, when Leah sits in this chair, she and Mary Carol, because I taught the teenagers, but this really originally was more intended a little bit more for the younger kids. Mm-hmm. But Leah, mommy, also helped a lot with gathering curriculum and those sorts of things. And so those of you who love kind of the nuts and bolts, we hope you'll watch the next video where they're going to talk about that. But Mary Carol, just intro stuff, anything else you want to share, and if not, we'll finish this up and let you talk to Mom in the next video.
Couple of things.
How did I know?
Ha 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 ha. I still have the outline and the project proposal that I sent to the Lads Leaders people and that I used to propose this to my elders. If somebody would like that, get in touch with my dad, myself.
Just leave a comment on the video or hit us up on Facebook or something. We'll get it to you.
Yeah, we'll get you the information.
Reach out on the socials.
I would love to share that with y'all. That is not just for Central. I hope for other congregations to be able to do this. Part of this being unknown, mostly when I first started working with trying to get teachers and stuff, it was a lot of, hi, you want to teach?
Mm-hmm.
Just tapping people on the shoulder, asking, knowing who was comfortable with what age groups, which that implies knowing your congregation,
Yep.
which was a big part of this. Everybody was supportive, but it was thinking of, okay, who's going to be a good teacher for this age group,
Mm-hmm.
and who's going to be the best for this kind of material. We have a lot of teachers for a lot of different age groups, but some of our teachers are not as good with this type of material. Some are better at explaining this. As much as this was a Bible class, this was also about science.
Yeah, it's different stuff. But the teachers, what was amazing was, of course, you have a couple who are going to be out of town or whatever. They were so willing to do it. One, they love you, but also they saw that even if just a handful of kids came, this really is a big deal. This really is important stuff. And they were all in and did a great job. And so in the next video, you and your mom are going to talk more about kind of the classes, the curriculum, that sort of thing. We hope this has encouraged you, kind of given you an idea. Hope you join the next video. Come out in a few days when Leah and Mary Carol talk about more of the nuts and bolts side of this. But I'm proud of Mary Carol for putting this together. I'm really proud of just the elders, Central in general, jumping behind this. And as Mary Carol said, if you'd like her proposal, or if you have some specific questions, throw a comment on the video or reach out to us through Facebook or something. We'd be glad to answer anything. And frankly, if we don't know the answer, it's because we've only done this once. And there's a lot to learn. It's kind of like doing a vacation Bible school. You do it once and you go, okay, what just happened here? so there may be times if you ask us a question, we don't know the answer. But we will do our best to get you an answer to encourage you. So like and subscribe. We will see you very soon with other videos, including the follow-up to this one with Leah and Mary Carol. Thanks for watching.